Hi, I'm Jessica, and when I'm not drinking all the coffee, watching Razorback sports, or hanging out with my family of boys, it's my passion to help elementary music teachers just like you find your unique teaching style. My goal with this podcast is to share helpful tips, strategies, and to give you the motivation you need to gain momentum in your teaching so you can continue being the music teacher rock star you already are. Welcome back. Today's episode is a little bit different. You're going to hear 3 interviews I have done with some elementary music teachers where they share their stories and how they became elementary music teachers and their journey that brought them to Harmony. And how Harmony has already helped them move forward with confidence as they go into this new school year and how it can help you as well. So as you listen to these interviews, there was a little bit of some technical difficulties in some of the interviews, but if you can listen past that and just honestly hear the stories of these amazing music teachers, I know you will get so much value from this interview. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. So Justin, I would love for you to just go ahead and take it away a little bit.
Sure. So I'm Justin. I'm from Australia, but currently living in South Korea. I work at an international school. I've been teaching music for, over 12 years. And it's a funny journey because at the beginning, I didn't think I was going to be a teacher, but I knew I loved music. And next thing you know, I'm studying an education degree and qualifying as a teacher. So I went off and I taught high school music. I thought, well, I wasn't so sure about the teaching thing, but there I was. I taught high school. I thought, this is good. As long as they don't put me down there with the little kids, I'll be fine. Fast forward 10 years to about 2 years ago, and the opportunity came up to teach essentially elementary school students. And by this point, I'd been married, still married, and have now almost 5-year-old child. And so I thought, actually, little kids aren't so bad. I think I can handle this. And goodness me, I've looked back. Looking back, I wouldn't want to change it. You know, teaching elementary school students is honestly is better than high school at the moment. I'm enjoying the work-life balance a lot more, avoiding the pressure of having to deal with exams and external stuff, which we do in the particular system I'm under. Yes. So I was saying yes. I couldn't have seen this 10 years ago that I would be teaching elementary music, but now it's like, well, this is where I'm meant to be. I love doing it, but coming from my high school music background, it's, there's still challenges, and more than anything else, for me, joining Harmony is about connecting to other teachers. Now, of course, there are a number of free groups out there, or even other membership sites, but honestly, and I'm sure we'll talk more about this seems to be the best bet for me, and I'm really looking forward to digging in. Already started to dig in, but looking forward to digging in more as we start doing Facebook calls and as you start releasing the monthly planning packs and that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. So when you saw, let's talk about last school year for you and what it was like. Did you feel overwhelmed? How much percentage of the school year would you say where you felt overwhelmed, or like you were just trying to figure things out on your own when it came to teaching and planning and things like that?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the first year of teaching elementary music, I was quite excited. It was all new and exciting. And certainly in the second year, the year that we've just finished, there were points where honestly, I was saying to myself, wasn't saying to anyone else, just like, I'm feeling burnt out. And so when I saw your pathway, which mentions the 4 stages, where stage 1, the sort of the worst one, is being burnt out. I was like, I've been there. Certainly in the last year, I've said, like I said to myself, I'm feeling burnt out, just kind of over it. And I mean, certainly the summer break has helped, but I know as well that Harmony and membership and the community and your pathway is going to help me deal with that. Right now looking at it, I'd say I'm probably more at the second or third stage, somewhere in between there. And I like what you said about, the fact is most of us will probably, it's like changing lanes on a highway. You'll probably find yourself at different stages, different parts of the year, or something as you get more experienced.
Definitely. It's never a stagnant, you've reached a point and you're just there. There's going to be stressful days or stressful months that come,
For
and then
sure.
you have those resources there. If you need to go back to any stage and figure out, watch a training video
Yeah.
or, download the PDF or just jump into the Facebook group and get support, or the mentorship calls too. So looking forward to this coming school year, how do you feel like Harmony is going to help you in this coming school year for you?
I think having it's like a home base of sorts. I'm kind of the kind of person who loves to read and research and try out things, and I've had to do a lot of work. This is not just for me as a music teacher, but other things in life. I had to do a lot of work to say, well, here's all the things I've signed up for. In some cases, paid money for courses and books and whatever.
Yeah.
And at some point, I have to kind of cut something. Otherwise, I'm going to go crazy trying to read it all, learn it all, and implement it all. And so for me, I've when I joined Harmony, I thought, well, this is it. This is going to be like my home base. I'm going to still be a part of certain Facebook groups and other sites and so on and so forth. But I'm going to prioritize this. I'm going to spend less time on those things. And it's going to be a place where I can come in and take the core content of the lesson packs, use what I can and what I will use, adapt what I can, what I need to adapt, join in with calls, join in with the community. I've been part of other communities, online communities, paid online communities for non-music things, and found them really helpful.
Yeah.
Just to sort of to be. Some people have said, you give what you give, you'll get back. So I think the strength of this community will be people, music teachers, joining in and asking questions, offering their advice, their experience, and just looking at the members that are there, I can tell it's not just members in the States, although of course quite a lot are, but there's a number of us who are spread out around the world, and that's fun. Me too.
I love that on a personal level, because I get to kind of hear about how music education is just happening in other countries as well. It's awesome. Yeah, you're right. There are several people joining from other countries as well, and I love it. It's going to be just gaining so much knowledge from each other about what are you doing in your country, and oh my gosh, there may be ideas that you share that someone has never heard before. And so I just think it's going to be such a great year, and I'm so excited, and I'm so excited to have you as a part of it too, Justin. And I appreciate you coming on this interview with me. And yeah, I just am so excited for this school year to start. So anything else you want to add before we go?
If there's anyone who, well, I guess for those who haven't yet joined and who are somehow still getting to watch this, please, the money that you have to spend or want to spend or need to spend on professional development, this is a real steal here, what Jessica has done. There's so much work that's gone into it, and I know you're going to keep adding to it as well. So that's one great thing. And if you're already in the group, I guess, like I said, we're here to help each other. So don't hang back and just sort of watch, although you might want to settle in for a bit. But I think the more we all put in, the more we're all going to get out of it. So
definitely.
I look forward to meeting everyone and learning from everyone.
Well, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming on tonight and sharing your story a little bit and about joining Harmony. And I look forward to this school year. Thank you so much, Justin.
Thank you, Jessica. Thanks for all the work you're doing.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Right. So I just wanted to have you on here tonight, and I have heard your story, but everybody else in here has not. So I want you to just, first of all, talk to me about, because your journey in becoming an elementary music teacher is a little different than some. So I would love for you to just share, like you've told me before, how you became an elementary music teacher. I know it's kind of a long story, so feel free to expand on it as much or simplify it as much as you want.
I'll do it really briefly. I went back to school in my 40s to become a teacher, and I taught first and second grade. And then I just had a really rough couple of years. Decided I was going to take a break from teaching last year, and it came to be August, and I started to feel like, well, wait, do I really want to do this? Just happened to, from a Facebook group, hear that a music teacher was needed at one of our local schools. So I went and looked, and I went, wow, I have a K8 certification, and that's all that's needed. And so I called a friend who taught music, and I was like, what do you think? And she also has a K8 certification, so she isn't a music major. And she's like, I think you should try it. And they were pretty desperate. The job had been posted for the entire summer. I mean, since May actually. So I
Oh,
applied, and 2 days later I was getting my classroom ready. So it was pretty fast. So yeah, and I had a super
yeah.
fun year. Really enjoyed the kids. I'm going back again. So I'm super excited though.
Yay.
I
Well, that's
spent
awesome.
spent a bunch of time looking at Harmony today, and I wish I would have had
Oh,
it last year. I mean, yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
yes, 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 yes.
No.
You're good now.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I was just saying I'm super excited because I just feel like I'm starting at a different spot. Well, one, to have a year, but also then to have all that support. So it's pretty exciting. I was just telling my husband about it. So
Oh, good. Well, thank you so much. I mean, that really makes me feel good because, like I've always said, it's not about me. I have created things that I know, and that's why I picked, certain teachers' brains. I had a lot of one-on-one conversations to really find out what music teachers are needing. And I went through, and even I was telling them when I was trying to reconnect. And one of the things that I know you told me that a lot of music teachers face is when you see those national standards and they're very vague, and you're just kind of open to interpretation of what do these musical terms mean. So I included that in the lesson plan packs. And so, because I know you're not what I always say is if one teacher has a question, it means other teachers have the same question. And that's the honest truth. So one thing I want to ask you is
good.
you were a member just for a couple of months of my former membership site, which was, I've told people it wasn't bad. I just shut it down because it just was not, it wasn't what I wanted to create from the beginning. It was like sort of helpful, but you didn't really know where to go in there. And so what are you already noticing is different about Harmony than you did about the previous membership site?
I joined and I didn't look a lot at the last one. I mean, once I jumped in and was
Okay, no, that's
teaching,
totally fine.
I was kind of on totally overload. Um, but one thing that I noticed today as I was buzzing around and looking at what was in Harmony, everything's very, once I figured out that I needed to click on that left-hand side and click on the classes,
Right.
I watched your video on how to navigate. Once I figured that out, uh, I was like, wow, it's just all right here. And so I think I'm hopeful, by the way. I think, isn't that the
Yeah,
second one?
good.
The not
Yeah,
totally
yeah,
overwhelmed, but the one up.
yeah, yeah. And
I was
so
like, okay, I
I
think that's
included that.
me. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And so there's identifiers to identify where you are. And one thing I really want to encourage, which
mhm.
I'll talk to you guys about that all year, is it's okay if you feel like you go back to feeling burnout. And it's okay if you end up getting totally to feeling confident. Because the whole point of the success path is that you feel like you can go back or forward as you need to throughout the whole school year. And so, yeah. So what have you looked at so far as you've been looking through the resources?
I well, I did your 5-day challenge that kind of took
Right.
most of my time
Right.
in the last
Oh,
week.
totally.
And honestly, I had big plans this summer. I was going to do all this work, and I
Mm-hmm.
think it was actually better because I ended up not working very much. And I think that actually was probably what I needed to do personally. Um, but today I was looking at all the beginning, the intro videos.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was just kind of bopping around and looking at, um, like the overview and the scope and sequence and all those things. And I didn't stay for a super long time because I was just kind of like, oh, I just want to kind of look at
Right,
everything
right, right. Just kind of looking
and
around.
see.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Awesome. Well,
mhm.
looking around in there, how did
And there
oh,
was
sorry.
so much that I was like, wow, there's a lot here.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. And so, and that's why in the school year, I intentionally am giving you guys an implementation week because I want you to have a week to catch up on anything that you feel like you are not able to keep up with. And that's why I'm not going to be doing too many Facebook lives. And that's why I'm only doing one mentorship call a month. But with that said, you're still going to have the encouragement and support inside the members Facebook group, and you'll have access to me anytime. Well, not anytime, maybe not when I'm sleeping, but you know what I mean, to email and ask questions. And but yeah, it's about just helping you beat the overwhelm by having the resources you need. And if, like you said, if you don't have time to go through them all right away, that's totally fine because they're there when you need them. And you know what you need. Some teachers need to come in right away and access the lesson plans. Some need to access the training videos to help them beat the overwhelm. And it's just about what you're needing because every teacher is different. So what are you looking forward to moving forward this school year? How do you feel like Harmony is going to help you to beat the overwhelm and to move forward in your teaching this school year?
After spending a year, and I'm sure other people who have many more years of experience feel this way too, I have some favorite things that I did last year. But then there would be the panic of, okay, but what am I doing next? And to have those lessons and to, put those things that I really loved that I did last year and also have the lessons. I'm really looking forward to that. The other thing that I'm really looking forward to is, having came from a gen ed classroom, I'm used to having another, say second grade teacher in my building across the hall. And I really missed that last year. I was really lonely. I mean, it was like, and though we had our monthly meetings with the district and all the music teachers, it wasn't that day-to-day contact. And during the 5-day challenge, that was one of my favorite parts, is that I'm starting to connect with music teachers and so I'm kind of excited about that side of it too, is not only the resources, but the connection.
Yeah. And I've met music teachers where there are, in fact, I did my student teaching, years ago, but in a large school. So there was a lower elementary music teacher and an upper elementary, but that's very, very rare. And normally, and I say this a lot, that the music teachers, you feel like you're on an island on your own sometimes, because although you have a team, and your team is great. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean by the PE teacher, our computer librarian. But let's be honest, you can relate to each other because you're called the specials teacher or whatever your school calls you, but they can't really help you plan lesson plans. They don't really know how to help you implement that lesson. They don't know how to help you with, classroom management some, but they don't have instruments in their classroom, and all those things that only an elementary music teacher really honestly gets. You're right, and that is so lacking, because I've heard from many music teachers too, where other music teachers in your district, maybe, but even if you do, sometimes if you feel like you emailed them to ask questions, they're not really getting back to you, or they might be getting back to you really late by the time you already got your question answered. So it gets a little confusing and a little lonely sometimes, like you said. So that is a huge part for me, is wanting a place for music teachers to be able to collaborate with each other. And I've loved that about the challenge as well. It's been incredible. So I just really appreciate you coming on and having this interview. Do you have anything else you want to say before we go?
So just excited for the new year. Excited to be going back to music too. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Brenda. I really appreciate it. And I'm excited to see you in Harmony.
You bet.
Have a good night.
Okay.
Hey, music teacher friend, I hope you're enjoying this episode. Aren't these music teachers amazing? I'm so grateful that they came on the podcast to talk about their experience with Harmony with me. It means the world to me. So I want to let you know that maybe if you're curious about joining Harmony, but you kind of want to see a little bit of what the content looks like, I got you set up. So simply head to subscribe.thedomesticmusician.com/Harmony lesson plan sample. And there you will be able to download a free sample lesson plan pack. If you're listening to this episode after the Harmony doors already close, no worries. That PDF is available for you to download all school year long. And also, if the PDF is kind of too hard to find, simply click on the link in my show notes and you will be able to download it there. All right, without further ado, let's jump right back in with the episode.
And it's going to be really good going into year 2, having something to go off of. Like between Harmony and this ORF Level 1, I feel like a burden's been lifted off of me.
Awesome.
As far as planning and knowing how to pace things for children.
Good.
And you don't have to talk to them all the time. Like you can just say, all right, this is what we're doing. Follow me. And they jump right in. And then you go back and explain, okay, this is what we did and this is how it worked. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So Katie, you are going into what year of teaching?
My second year.
Okay. So if you can explain to us what was last year like for you?
It was a lot of like sitting in bed the night before thinking, okay, I know that this is what I want to accomplish with my kids, but I don't know where to start or what to use or what resources to use. Because when I student taught that school, I was in the same county that I'm in now, but we had game plan and all these, she had her ORF level books that I could pull from.
Mm-hmm.
And the school I went into, I had, the Silver Burdette book, like textbooks, which are great for teaching out of a book. But if that's not what you want to do, it's really hard to just like create things out of thin air. It was a lot of planning week to week instead of being able to sit down and say like, okay, I'm going to plan out all of August to at least have somewhat of a structure, and then you can tweak it as you go. But I was so overwhelmed by trying to figure out how to pace things that it was constantly like just flying by the seat of my pants kind of thing. So I think I wouldn't say that it was super stressful, but like I just felt like I was doing a disservice to those kids, not knowing I knew what they needed, but not how to get there.
Which is completely normal. Whether you've been teaching 1 year or 30, it's really overwhelming sometimes knowing, am I teaching the right thing at the right time? And I know you and I discussed how music standards are very vague, and you just kind of open to interpretation. So you're kind of like, am I doing this the right night a week? Or what is everybody else doing? And it gets overwhelming knowing that.
Yeah.
So during our conversation, we talked a lot about your first year teaching and everything. And so why did you decide to join Harmony?
I think a lot of it for me was that there was somebody out there that was really wanting to give answers. Like it didn't matter what your question was. There were no stupid questions. It's everybody's welcome to the table kind of thing, and let's collaborate. And it's not, here's a curriculum that you have to do it this way. It's here's all of these options you have. And I was telling somebody from my ORF group today that I feel like now that I have a lot of ORF knowledge, and Harmony seems to be like, it works really well with ORF. So I'm able to, like, if there's something that I've learned here that I might like, I might like it better, or it might work better for my kids, that it's super easy to sub in my stuff. And I'm looking in Harmony, it seems that your end goal for us is to be confident in planning it from scratch and being able to eventually roll over into all lesson plans that are ours, not yours. And but knowing that there's all these lesson plans laid out for me, that, like I said, that's just a burden lifted off of me, that it's all, it's all there. If I want to teach it just like it is in Harmony, then that's perfectly fine. And that's a perfectly valid way to teach. And then over time I can, sub things in, and then eventually they may all evolve to solely my plans, or they may be a really good hybrid. So it just felt like the answer to all the stress.
It's kind of like having options. So do you feel more confident going into this school year?
Yes. And also, like, I have typed out my first 2 weeks of, like, I've looked at all of August, but I've done the first 2 weeks, like, typed out. They are ready to be posted in my classroom, and knowing, especially missing the first day of pre-planning because of ORF, and then I drive back and we've got registration on Friday, so like it's another 6 hours I'm not in my room. Knowing that that's done is I keep saying this, but it's just a burden lifted off of me that, like, those are done. And then as I look in the coming weeks, and then when the next month rolls over, I can start subbing things in that I have learned here and start to get a little more creative with it. But having that comfort, it's like taking your favorite blanket to work with you, that I know that it's there, and I can always revert to that if I feel like I'm kind of wandering too far past the point of where I'm comfortable and what I'm comfortable, making sure that the kids are getting the best version of me as a teacher.
Right.
I feel so, like, relieved going into this year. I'm not stressed about, like, what do I teach? I don't know. I don't feel like I've got to sit down and plan it all out like I did last year, because it's going to come more naturally because I've had this ORF training and I have Harmony to fall back into until I'm comfortable to kind of go out on my own. Yeah, I definitely was like, I have to make time for this because it's really important to me that, and I've been plugging it with all of my ORF friends. Like, I just told them, like, I feel between the two things, I feel so much more prepared. And the price point of it, like, even if you look at it and you say, I'm only going to use like half of that, it's really, to me, so worth it to have that support And it's not just about having the lesson plans to look at.
Mhm.
It's having the calls, having the Facebook group
Mm-hmm.
that I just, again, I feel so prepared for this year. But yeah,
I'm so glad.
I'm so glad. All right, I'm going to go do the Facebook call in my room. I'll be right back. So we were doing homework down the hall.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Well, thank you so
Tell your
much.
friends
Tell your friends thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing you.
Well, have a great
Well, have
night,
a great night, Katie, and I'll see you soon. All right.
All right, bye.
All right, bye. Bye.
Well, hey there. I am so glad that these Harmony teachers came on my podcast to explain the reasons behind joining Harmony for them. They decided to join this membership site, some of them as founding members without ever knowing what the membership site was truly going to be, just saw my vision. Some of them have been a part of Harmony for a year now, and some joined us in January when I relaunched. But you know what? I'm telling you right now that once members come in, I'm telling you, I really don't see very many teachers leaving because they want to stick around. It's truly hard to put into words what the experience for you will be like in this membership site unless you join us, because it is truly like nothing I have ever been a part of. And yes, I'm the creator of it, but I'm telling you, the expectations I had of this membership site and what it's turned out to be over a year have completely blown me away. These teachers show up for each other. They are there for each other. They feel like a family. In fact, we call each other the Harmony fam. I love the conversations we have in the Zoom calls and the way they come and help each other out in the Facebook group and the lesson plans I see them implementing and the way I hear them saying they've gone from feeling overwhelmed and stressed out to feeling a little bit more confident. And it's not as overwhelming this year trying to plan lesson plans every day. Not only that, when COVID-19 hit, they still showed up for each other. We still collaborated. We showed up and had conversations. And that's what's great about a membership site is you always have a home base and a place to go, even if things go crazy like they did last school year. So this school year, I'm planning to show up even bigger, and we are going to have monthly Zoom calls like we did last year. I'm going to be hopping in the Facebook group all the time. You get monthly done for you lesson plans for the entire school year with a curriculum map. But also this school year, I am going to adapt every lesson plan pack that's already been created, and I'm going to also add ideas for virtual teaching or other teaching situations you may find yourself in, and also make sure that if you're stuck in ways to find equity in your music classroom, we're going to discuss that as well. And we are going to constantly have conversations, and I'm going to provide bonus resources as well as lesson plan packs with all kinds of information you need in there too. Not only that, we have some guest experts joining us this year. Most of them have been previous podcast guest of mine who are going to come in the membership site to offer mentorship to the members, and they can ask them any questions, and you joining us can ask any questions as well. And the 5-day challenge that just happened for Harmony members right now, it's going on for like a lot more days. It's a 30-day challenge for Harmony members. As a member, you get so many more benefits that I can't even explain on this little podcast ad right here. So what I want you to do is head to harmonymembership.teachable.com and click on the button that says Harmony Hub. And there you will be able to scroll all the way down and read all about Harmony. You'll be able to see what other music teachers have said, and you'll be able to see all the benefits that you get by being a member. If you have any questions along the way, please just email me at jessica@thedomesticmusician.com, or right there on that page I just sent you to. I will be online answering any questions for the next 5 days. Doors close on Tuesday, June 30th at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. So don't wait and join Harmony so you can find clarity as a music teacher and feel like you are able to breathe again and really enjoy your teaching. And I hope to see you inside.